Hello, hello! It's me again, Gitzie, your MD PhD student and currently medical intern vlogger. And welcome to episode 3 of the MADPHAD Journey Series, Season 1. PS. To more friends who took NMAT before, so in the previous episode, we look into the typical pre-med courses and their helpfulness in taking the NMAT examination. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. That's part 1 and go back here to part 2. Ayan! Welcome back! In this episode, we are going to talk about the atypical pre-med courses or the atypical undergraduate courses who takes medicine and NMAT examination. So just like in the previous video, I sent a G form to my friends with atypical courses who took NMAT with the same questions as before. So without further ado, let's look at them answers. First in our list is my good friend, Fershel. So Fershel is a BS Family Life and Child Development graduate and actually naging preschool teacher siya before she entered medicine. Nung nag-NMAT siya, ang kanyang strength ay social sciences kasi nga naman social science ang kanyang course. So, because of that, she did not have to study much. For chemistry naman, yun ang kanyang weakness kasi she sucked at orchem. Ang kanyang helpfulness scale ay nasa 7 out of 10. Socksci-wise, helpful ang kanyang course kasi nga, it's a socksci course, but she had to study for bio and chemistry. Now, ang kanyang recommendation for the undergraduate course for NMAT ay BS Public Health kasi for her, BS Public Health are NMAT ready as well as med ready. Ang kanya namang recommendation for a pre-med ay again, BS Public Health. Kasi for her, sabi ng mga friends niya, parang review na lang daw yung LU3 and LU4. So, yung LU3 at LU4, yun yung tawag namin sa first year and second year students sa UP College of Medicine. Ang tips naman niya sa mga may same na undergraduate course niya or sa mga gusto rin na kumuha ng family life and child development would be study the samplings first to get an idea of the type of questioning, the pattern of questionings, and also because some of the items that appear on the actual test are on the sample exams themselves. And also, when you study the samplings first, it also helps you gauge which subjects you need to study more on. Kasi that would help you not spend too much time in something na very expert ka na and makaka-focus ka na sa weaknesses mo, di ba? Next in our list is Trish, who is a graduate of BA Anthropology. So, if you've happened to watch my very first YouTube upload, yung play namin sa medicine in 2019, Trish is one of the heads of that play and I'm the director. So, medyo naging close kami because of that. So, and I'm very proud of our product there. So, yan. Alright. Balik na tayo dun sa mismong topic natin. Ang kanyang strength ay perceptual acuity dahil hindi niya daw sure pero talagang kahit mock exam, madalas perfect siya dito. Baka daw dahil malinaw kasi yung mata niya. And then, ang kanya namang weakness ay biology. Medyo mahaba explanation niya dito pero gusto kong malaman nyo, lalo na yung mga gustong mag-BA Anthropology din. So, pumasok daw siya sa UPD under Chemical Engineering kaya may mga higher math, chem, and physics subjects siya. So, may familiarity siya sa mga subjects na yon. However, yung biology, yung Waterloo niya kasi maliban sa GE, never na siyang kumuha ng any biology course. As I've mentioned, nandito siya sa episode kung saan atypical or rare na medical undergraduate courses. So, yung mga typical subjects na kinukuha sa NMAT ay hindi niya nakuha. So, medyo at a disadvantage siya doon. Also, yung lowest score niya sa NMAT, ironically, ay social sciences. Despite being a social science graduate, kasi daw, number 1, majority of the test contents focuses on the topics of psychology. Number 2, very surface level lang yung mga tanong sa NMAT. Kasi nga, diba, sabi ko sa inyo, ang NMAT is more of the breadth rather than the depth. Ang coverage sa NMAT ay mostly socio and anthro. Walang coverage nung linguistics, philo, history, geog, and pol sci, which is heavy, I think, sa kanilang curriculum in the Anthropology. And number 3, pure multiple choice questions ang nasa NMAT for Socksci. For her, hindi yun masyadong effective as a social sciences graduate kasi kaya daw niyang i-argue na some of the options are vague or really doesn't answer the question. So, yun yung mga disadvantages ng pagkasoksay mo in the soksay part. But ang kanya namang helpfulness rating scale sa NMAT ay 6 out of 10. Not bad, not bad. Mas pinahirapan daw siya sa social sciences part because of those that I have mentioned earlier. Little or no relevant din daw yung mga subjects nila sa curriculum para sa NMAT. And also, at the time na kumuha siya ng NMAT mismo, marami silang ginagawang paper at field work. So, schedule, mahirap mag-aral, mahirap mag-concentrate sa isang subject or sa isang examination lang. Which, I think pangyayari naman sa ating lahat kasi kukunin natin ang NMAT while we are going through our undergraduate courses. Bawi naman daw kasi nalaman na niya kung anong best study style niya sa sobrang dami ng readings nila sa Anthropology. So, that's a plus point for Anthropology and NMAT. So, next, ano ang kanyang recommended undergraduate course for NMAT? Sabi niya, any. If you look at her, BA Anthropology as an NMAT course, put her at a very disadvantaged position in terms of the curriculum. Pero dahil parang entrance exam lang naman yung NMAT, nakapasa siya and had a very good score. Now, ano naman yung recommendation niya for pre-med courses? Sa kanya, any year ng sugod. Well, actually, sabi niya, walang best course for a pre-med. Kasi the advantages of some courses over others, like for example, yung PT and OT for anatomy, and then yung pharma for pharma, yung chem or MEB for biochem, genetics, tapos yung medtech and public health for para micro is trumped by hard work and knowing your study style. So, it really doesn't matter what undergraduate course you take as long as you're hardworking and as long as you know what study style suits you best, you're gonna excel in med school, or at least you're gonna survive in med school. Regardless of the subject matter, understanding the most effective way for you to learn is infinitely better than familiarity of certain topics. So the playing field, according to her, and I also agree, will eventually level off in the long run in med school. So, ano naman yung mga tips niya sa mga katulad niyang BA Anthropology na gusto mag-NMAT or gusto mag-Med? People will say your pre-med matters, but if you're an outlier like me, kasi nga atypical yung course niya, it has zero bearing on your NMAT, except for your study schedule. Magdasal ka na lang daw na walang papers on the time of your NMAT at saka mga fieldworks para meron kang time to study and to set your brain for your NMAT exam. Alright, thank you Trish for that. And now let's go to our next atypical course with Nika, a BS Agricultural Biotechnology graduate. So for Nika, ang kanyang strength ay nasa chemistry kasi basic questions lang yung nasa examination ng NMAT. And marami rin mga similar to the NMAT practice exam na questions. Ang kanya namang weakness ay nasa social sciences kasi parang during their time daw, masyadong maraming mga religion na question na parang hindi naman niya masyadong na-touch on na nag-review siya or kulang yung background niya about it. And also kulang din yung GE subjects sa BS Agricultural Biotechnology when it comes to social sciences. Now, ang kanyang course NMAT helpfulness skill is at 9 out of 10. Kasi sabi niya, they have good foundations in the major topics covered in NMAT like chem and physics. And also, they also dwell into higher chemistry, higher physics, higher biology, and paulit-ulit siyang kinukuha. So, yung paulit-ulit na yun, syempre na-master mo na rin yung mga sciences na ito. And also, since agriculture siya, may part din na may botany, zoology, and biology. So, that's a really good plus for NMAT. Now, ang kanyang recommendation both for NMAT and for Med ay BS Biology or Allied Medical Professions. Sabi niya, for the first few years of college, yung mga courses will prep you and will also suffice to prepare you for your NMAT examination. Pag kumuha ka ng BS Biology and Allied Medical, these are also courses that would also enable you to have a glimpse on what you have to do in your medical school. Like, for example, dissection, anatomy, laboratory, and researches. And ang tip naman niya sa mga kasamang pre-med niya, relatively new yung course na ito sa UPLB. So, konti pa lang yung nagme-med. Ang sabi nga niya, actually sa UPCM, parang 2 pa lang yung nakakapasok mula sa kanilang undergraduate course. So, since rare yung course nila, ang tip niya would be take up all the necessary units of bio, chem, and math for your dream school as early as possible. And also take up those 3 subjects that you think would help you in your NMAT exam and even in your med school or kung saan mo pa need ng improvement for your NMAT examination. Now, let's go to friends, our BS Community Nutrition graduate. Ang kanyang strength ay in biology kasi took 2 bio ay actually free kasi shifting siya. So, he took bio 11, bio 12, and bio 1. And ang kanya namang weakness ay nasa social sciences kasi actually para siyang indirectly kasi he took too much time in the calculations part kaya hindi niya natapos yung soksay. Sad. Kaya it is very important to practice na para ka nag-exam na, para hindi ka nagagahol sa oras, para alam mo yung feeling. And kanyang course and math helpfulness scale is at 8 out of 10. So, marami daw kasi silang science subjects. So, kaya nawala yung 2 para maging 10. He wasn't learning something new. But at least it was helpful for NMAT. Now, ang kanya namang recommendation for NMAT would be BS Psychology kasi BS Psychology for him has already Chem, Physics, Bio, and Social Sciences, which are all parts of the NMAT exam. Now, for medical, he recommends BS Public Health kasi they are very geared towards med preparation, which I think really is. Now, ang tip naman niya sa mga same yan na BS Community Nutrition is that work on your physics and social sciences. Mahina daw kayo doon, guys. We've come to the last, but definitely not the least. We have Gerald, a BS Mechanical Engineering graduate. As expected, ang kanyang highest or ang kanyang strength would be in quantitative. Kasi for him, as a mechanical engineering graduate, very, very easy lang yung math and very easy din yung mga tanong and physics was easy too for him. And ang kanya namang weakness ay social sciences dahil he thinks na in his year parang especially difficult yung social sciences question. So, swertihan din yan guys kung medyo madali or naaral nyo ba yung mga lalabas na tanong. Now, for the course and math helpfulness scale, he rated his undergrad at 10 out of 10, guys. 10 out of 10 for an atypical course. Sabi niya, considering most students had a hard time in math and physics, it gave me an advantage. Again, that is very really true kasi nga sabi ko sa inyo, NMAT is percentile based. So, mas magaling ka sa weakness ng mas maraming tao, mas mataas yung percentile na makukuha mo. So, he just had to get an above average course in the other sciences, which fortunately, he did naman. Sa other tests like the verbal, etc., it came to him as something more like an IQ test. Now, ang recommendation niya for NMAT, he highly recommends yung kanyang mismong course which is BS Engineering. Kasi nga, as above, nandun na yung explanation, diba? Grabe na nga, diba? 10 out of 10 na nga yung score niya. Also, if you're serious in taking NMAT or Med, your English should be good enough to have good scores in those areas. Ang kanya namang recommendation for Med would be BS Public Health. For BS Public Health, sabi niya, you'd have good enough background on many areas important for medicine. Also, the study styles are the same. Now, yung tip niya for those na nagme-mechanical engineer din na gustong mag-med would be, isa lang daw guys. Just know your basic chem, biology, and know something about social sciences. Siya daw, nag-review siya ng NMAT around the same time na nag-review din siya for boards. And fortunately, and since magaling naman kasi si Gerald, nakakuha naman siya ng mataas na score both for boards and he got 99 plus for NMAT. So, it is easier than you think. And IQ test lang daw ang NMAT. So, guys, just be confident, believe in yourself, and just study hard. And since we've finished all of the different undergraduate courses that have responded, let me give you a summary of all of our findings or the summary of results. For the strength, ang pinakamarami would be chemistry. But we have to remember, guys, that strengths and weaknesses are due to their GE foundation and also their personal capacity. So again, nasa tao pa rin yan. Kung magaling ka sa isang bagay or magaling ka sa isang subject, malamang yun yung magiging mong strength inherently. Now, yung pinakamarami na weakness would be social sciences, which yun nga din yung weakness ko, diba? As I've mentioned in episode 1 ng NMAT, social sciences yung weakness ko. So, ang important dito, focus on your weaknesses and turn them into strengths kasi if you are better in a subject na yung ibang tao ay mahina, and then ibig sabihin mas magiging mataas yung percentile mo. But again, take this with a grain of salt itong result na to kasi very limited lang naman yung pinag-surveyan nating mga tao. So for this group of people, maaring social sciences yung pinaka weakness nila, but for the whole entire population na mag-NMAT during your time, hindi natin masasabi, but at least meron kang kind of like idea. And now, for the course helpfulness scale naman, we can see na almost all ay sumagot ng above average ang helpfulness scale ng kanilang mga courses, except for Ate John ng BS Nursing na ang score niya ay 2. Pero I guess kasi yung point niya dito is, as you go on with BS Nursing, mas nalilimutan mo yung mga GE subjects mo. And yung NMAT examination is more of the basics. Kaya siguro 2 yung nilagay niya. But ano makukuha natin from this na almost all ay above average? So, NMAT is not about the undergraduate course, guys. So, it is really better that you take the undergraduate course that you like para naman nag-i-enjoy ka in your process of getting into med school or getting into the MD PhD program. Now, ang course for NMAT ang pinaka-recommended ay BS Biology, followed by any other course with good basic sciences foundation na helpful sa NMAT. And ang pinakamataas na percentage or pinaka-recommended na course for med ay BS Public Health. Kasi yung na-view ng mga tao na similarity ng PH courses or PH subjects to med courses or med subjects, and also the similarity of PH and med study styles. Now, let me give you the summarized version of the general tips na binigay ng ating mga friends sa ating G-form. So, syempre, pinag-kulit-kulit ko na silang lahat para hindi man paulit-ulit. Step number 1, review your basic concepts. Mostly stock knowledge sa high school ang lumalabas sa NMAT. Number 2, practice test is key. Kahit na feeling mo smart ka, it is better pa rin to practice. And also time yourself as if you are taking the actual exam na para hindi ka napapraning, diba? At saka para hindi ka rin nakakatulog or para hindi ka rin nauubusan ng oras. Take the mock NMAT exam early on so you will be able to gauge the problem areas and work on those as early as possible. Number 4, know your strengths and weaknesses, then focus on your weakness. Na-explain na natin yan paulit-ulit. Next, kaya itang self-review, but if you want to enroll pa rin sa isang review center, no shame, go and enroll. You got this, aim for the 99 plus or at least 90 plus percentile. Then, study smart and answer smart. Don't forget to eat your breakfast, guys. And get enough rest before the day of the exam itself. And also stay hydrated so you can think well. And guys, it is really important na maganda ang tulog nyo on the night before the exam. Kasi like for example, si Eva, share niya sa akin na nakatulog daw siya sa isang part kaya nagawan siya sa oras. So, hindi maganda yon guys. Dapat maganda ang tulog natin para chillax tayo. Next, relax lang, chill, give your best, and let the universe do the rest. Wink, wink. Do your best, but don't be too hard on yourself. NMAT is just a stepping stone towards that MD, pero it won't define the kind of doctor that you will be. Aww, it doesn't really matter what course you take. If you study hard for it, you'll get good grades, and then you'll go and reach your dreams. Believe in yourself. Lastly, remember your goal. Pray for strength, peace, contentment, and joy. And that's the end of this episode, guys. I hope you learned a lot, you got something out of it, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you will be updated of my next episodes. So for the next episode, I will be talking about the interview for UPCM. See you there, guys. Bye!